Hi, it's Steve. It's another one of Steve's snippets on this sunny April 10th day in the year 2014. And this is a special day because 83 years ago our dad was born. And our world is a much better place because Dad was part of it. I'm actually wearing this sweatshirt. Ordinarily I probably would have taken it off to look a little more professional. But this really is a wonderful descriptor of Dad. He worked at the university for a large portion of his life, and he loved it. He never thought of it as work, or at least that he ever talked with us about it. It was always going to school. And he was, as we understand it, a wonderful professor, a great teacher. He also worked very hard and diligently on a number of projects that he was passionate about, including computer science and using computers to describe and help students understand mathematics so much better. He also was a great colleague. And if you talked with any number of people about Dad, you'd find out that he was interested in the students and in the university and everything about it. He was a fan of the sports teams. He was involved with his colleagues in a number of ways, including a singing group called the Logarithms that you can see information on the internet about them and their singing. Dad was just a great individual. Obviously, in my case, someone that was very important in modeling myself after him. Dad was an honest man. And sometimes it was almost embarrassing how honest. But that has stuck with me, and I hope it will with the next generations as well. Many times there would have been an opportunity for Dad to have cut a corner and do something, maybe get a free entry to the rec center or something else that he thought was just flat out wrong. And when in such situations, Dad would say so and avoid doing the wrong thing. And that was certainly one of the things that caught my attention as a young man and as an older guy. We miss Dad greatly. And he had so many examples, so many ways that he shared his love of life with us. And yet, even though we miss him dearly, we can reflect back so positively on a number of things. I'll just mention a few here. One thing that several people have said is they love to tell Dad jokes because when our Dad heard a really good one, he would laugh until he cried. And I've caught myself on more than one occasion having a similar experience. And I think back to Dad and that fact that he was a great barometer of jokes. And what tickled me and other people more than anything is sometimes he'd have laughed and laughed heavily, and then 5 or 10 minutes later, he would just burst out laughing again. He was still enjoying that joke. Dad did some really unusual things. I mentioned the singing group, the Logarithms. He also was caught juggling in class and just doing any number of things to make class enjoyable for students. And I think all of his kids and those around him have come up with ways on their own to do these same kind of things, possibly at least partially modeling from Dad. Dad was a humble man. You wouldn't really know that much of the great stuff he did unless someone else told you. And thankfully, in many cases, they did. In particular, one thing that came up later here in life was that he was actually on the gymnastics team at the University of Illinois Great Lakes. And so even though it was a smaller gymnastic team than the University of Illinois' team, it was one of those things that he did that we as kids, I never knew about that. One of the other things that I guess I'll mention in closing and starting to close is the fact that when Dad would come and visit anyone, he would ordinarily look around for a few projects, ways he could make a difference in that person's life by, tightening up some screws maybe in a doorway, or ask just if there were any projects. And I know he always did this when we went to Canada and visited his mom, my Grandma Long. And I guess in closing on this little snippet for today, in remembering Dad, I can't help but think about the Christian influence that he provided in my life. Dad was very comfortable praying in groups. He clearly questioned and was not just absolutely positive about everything related to religion. And I think that's a healthy reminder for all of us that we need not be so closed-minded and so unwilling to consider any number of possibilities related to biblical scholarship in terms of any aspect of our Christian life, but continue to live life, to love it, and to show the love that you have for all of humanity in everything you do. I have a great deal of thanks for having the father I had and remembering him right now during this time. Have a great day, and I'll look forward to chatting at you again soon.